What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Track Talkers. It's what, Ty?
Round 9
of the Pro Motocross Championship. I'm so excited to be back. The weekend off felt like eternity.
2 weekends off.
2 weekends off. We're back in the studio for the Ironman review. Jet Lawrence, right out of the gate, gets penalized a lap.
Not right out of the gate.
Not right out of the gate. Gets penalized a lap. Now, boys, okay, when I first saw it, I was like, this is bullshit. Chase Sexton did the same thing. Nobody ever said a thing about it. And then I seen the review of the drone footage where he hits the gate and then keeps going. And I can understand it. Mike, you were there, bro. You were there this weekend. Mike, what's your take on the whole situation? What was the vibes like? What was the consensus around the pits?
When it happened, I had my focal point on the camera aimed directly, at the guys, and he was right in that main group.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went through the gate, I was like, oh, what? Whoa. And then just watching the whole thing and just the shutter button click down the whole way. So I have the whole sequence and just watch the gate go all the way forward. There was nothing else he could do but go forward because the gate went all the way forward. I kind of don't understand the line that's being said about, he had the advantage because he was ahead of everybody else. He did double clutch it a bit, but he seemed to do everything he could to wheel it back in. And any advantage that he had was gone because the whole shot device popped up. He was mid-pack going through it. The only person that got a worse off in him was Dylan Ferrandis because Dylan saw Jeremy kind of flinch and then saw Jet flinch and then really went for it. So the worst person that got it out on the start was Dylan, but then to find out on the starting line of 450 Moto 2 for everybody else in the crowd that Jet had gotten penalized like that, a full lap was a pretty big surprise. I at first thought when I heard it on the announcement over the PA system, it was going to be like 5 spots or 30 seconds or whatever it was.
Totally.
But then when Peanut from Star Racing told me it was a full lap, I was pretty much in disbelief for a minute. Like, what are you talking about? Who would ever penalize that much?
Yeah.
And then knowing that, then it just opened up the second moto to be a free-for-all because there were so many people that then were in contention for a top 5.
Yeah.
And then knowing like, okay, homeboy's going to have a point to prove for this now. So how interesting does it get? But that was the moment of the weekend because it sets everything else in play for the 450 class.
Yeah. To be totally honest with you, I thought it was the right call. But when I seen it on the TV, and I don't know if you guys thought this, but I'm like, damn, who was the one who snitched?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though? Like, for real. Like, so I personally
that was
think,
my first thought, too.
Like,
yes.
who protested?
Yeah, who protested? Because somebody protested. If nobody cared and nobody said anything, they would have just let Jet do it. And that's really, I think, why. This is my assumption, too. This is not fact. But this is why I thought he got penalized so harshly, is because I think somebody
Knew the rule.
Another team knew the rule and was like, let's watch the video, let's watch the review. You guys need to review this. And that's really their job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Yamaha or KTM or all those guys, it's their job. AMA made a rule. Why not enforce it against your competitor? Because that could be SMX points. That could be all kinds of shit. And I think that's really what happened. I think they probably would have let it slide because he was at a disadvantage. I don't think AMA took it upon themselves to keep going with that situation, especially seeing that Jet got so penalized by himself by hitting the gate. But when you do review the footage, you can see Jet needed to hit the gate, stop, back up, and go again.
Yeah,
that is what you have to do.
What I envisioned it from the video and like why it made sense is like there is a line on that gate and it's like a plane, like a touchdown plane.
Uh-huh.
When he hit that gate, he intruded on that line and he was on that line before anybody moved.
Exactly.
Or anybody could even get to that line.
Yeah, just like football.
Yeah.
That imaginary line they put on TV, you
or
can't
TD,
jump.
You know, for the touchdown, as soon as you break that plane, you've touched it, you have an advantage.
Yes.
And that's what, it was just cut and dry. It was just like, he knocked the gate forward. He kept on moving forward. Yes, he was in front of the field for probably a split second, but at that moment in time, we can pause it, and he has a clear advantage that he knocked the gate forward. He was in forward progress, and after that, we don't care, but at that moment, he had an advantage, and he gets docked a lot for that. And I was just like, and we even talked about this too. I mean, if the rule's there, the rule's there, and then you enforce it on Jet Lawrence, the guy who's leading the 450 championship, guaranteed this week, everybody be like, bro, if you hit the gate, you better back up.
Yes. That rule really just needed to be enforced like that one time, and nobody's ever going to try to jump the gate.
I mean, out of my whole entire racing career, racing professionally, even watching professional racing, I think that's the first time that's ever happened, other than I remember Tyler Evans jumping the gate on like an LCQ in Vegas where he went over the top of it.
Yes. But didn't they restart the race?
Yes, and they red flagged it.
Yes, and J-Law.
And
J-Law did it. But that's the crazy part. That wasn't even in our career. That was before we raced. In our career, I don't remember anybody doing that.
I don't remember anybody doing it
So
either.
in 13 years, nobody's actually done that.
Yeah.
So
or gotten that penalty.
Yes, or gotten that penalty. So I don't know. Unfortunately, do I think he should have been penalized a lap? No.
Or how about this? But this is where the other thing too, where outdoor needs to kind of get in, or AMA needs to enforce these on these racetracks. In Supercross, the gate can't fall forward. It has the chains.
That's true.
So if it was in Supercross, he would have been stuck on that gate because he drove his front wheel into there. So is this just shining a light on just an overseen issue that all these tracks need to have safety chains so these gates can't fall forward?
I mean, probably. I mean,
it just takes a little like 4-inch chain. And if you do that, then whoever hits the gate gets stuck, and then that penalty is almost non-existent.
Yeah, literally. I don't know. I mean, I think that going back to what I was saying, and Anton chime in, it was one of those things where it was like, do I think he should have been penalized that much? No. When they read the rule and I watched the video, did he break the rule? Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Did you see the video, Anton? Have you seen the replay?
Oh yeah. No, I watched it a bunch of times just to like really figure out what happened. Like even to figure out who flinched first, how did it go?
Well, it was all Jeremy Hand. I mean, Jeremy Hand.
It was Jeremy Hand's fault for sure.
Yeah.
And I'll say like even before I released the trigger on the camera, hearing the revs as high as they were, it wasn't that long, but it did feel like a split second longer than it usually does. I was like, damn, man, drop the gate, So
yeah,
just thinking somebody's going to time it,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there is that urgency. Those guys always drop it kind of around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know it, but when they go 6 seconds instead of that 5 second, or they go 8 seconds, dude, it just feels like your bike's about to blow up on the gate, and then your mind wanders for that split second, and caught you off guard. See ya.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so especially when they've gone to the pneumatic gate and they've had, you guys can say this in the 13 years of your career. Think about prior to your career, how many gate malfunctions you saw. So in the same way that you haven't seen somebody jump a gate, we haven't seen as many gate malfunctions until the last 12 years, realistically.
Yeah.
And so even to that same thing of your mind creeping, when it goes for so long, and even I'm this way as a photographer, I'm like, all right, well, the fucking gate's not going to drop. They're going to red flag it. Like, they're going to do that's what my mind immediately goes to.
Yeah.
So I could think of you as a racer when it's there and you're just holding the clutch and you're just like, well, it's not going to go. The gate messed up again.
No, like the more time it goes by, you're like, there's probably like I would say a half a second period where you're like, it's going to drop, 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 it's going to drop. And is it going to drop? Is it going to drop? Is it going to drop?
Yeah, totally. Totally. And you're like, it's just so hard.
Yes.
And those guys, everybody's so locked in. When you see something move, you're like, oh my God, let's go. You know what I mean? It's just like, you can't, Jet just was ready to go. There's no other way to put it. And Jet's one of the best starters, so I'm sure his reaction time is probably better than 90% of the guys.
Yeah, he could have reacted. He could have reacted off of Jeremy Hand and still got the whole shot.
100%. 100%. what do we think about Eli Tomac fading back so much in the first moto? We did get word from our SMX insider, Michael Antonovich, that we did maybe possibly have a pant malfunction with the
Wouldn't
pants
be the
coming
first
off.
time.
We've seen this many times before, and I've ridden with my pants coming
No,
off.
I feel like this has happened a few times with Eli.
Yes. And you can't really, it sucks.
Yes.
When you ride when your pants are broken,
Let's call it what it is, bro. He was sagging.
he was sagging. And it's hard to do. But
It's like trying to run with your sagging pants. You can't do it.
with that being said, right? Second moto, he did good. But after the second moto, Eli Tomac, which we never hear from Eli Tomac, said, I am not right.
Yes. Not healthy. Didn't seem like he was healthy. Didn't seem like he had a little extra, like, I don't know, extra little will in the tank, you know?
This is my question.
He didn't seem to have that oomph.
Yes, he definitely doesn't have the beast mode right now. So we know there's a problem. But in all of our time watching Eli Tomac, right? How many times have we heard him complain about a problem?
Very few.
Very few. So this is definitely raising a flag to me that there is a very prominent issue that Eli Tomac is getting frustrated with, and that camp is having a hard time figuring out.
I know,
so if
but
he's
it's just,
sick, it might be more than just like the
I know,
flu.
but it's tough because he just came off of like a 2-week break and he's sick.
I know.
This is not like mid-season, you know, week after week and sick. This is, you just had 2 weeks off and now he's sick. So it is, can he turn around in these next 5 days?
How big of a deal is it, with the SMX coming up so quick and Eli Tomac having this problem that he can't seem to get fixed? Because whether he wants to admit it or not, this has been happening for a while. I mean, we're talking back to like...
Yeah, but he seems to be, he seemed to be better from what he left off as.
I would say this, look, to both motos, he looked much feistier this weekend than he has in past weekends.
Yes.
Even being sick, knowing he was sick, looking at him firsthand and him going, yeah, don't talk to me, I'm sick. All of those things being said, he looked better. And I know that there has been some kind of like, hey, we have to get over some issues in the last couple weeks, probably the last, really the whole summer.
Yeah.
After the first two. They seem like they've made progress on that thing. And then to know, like, hey, he was worn down. Moto 1, like, I'm looking at photos right now. When he's leading, just as like a indicator, his pants are pretty high up his hip. You can see where it's tucked in all the way over, almost up to the bottom of the A-Stars logo on the bottom of his jersey.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a photo over the same jump 25 minutes later. The jersey's completely untucked and his pants are 3 inches down. You know, like, you can see it. It's not bullshit. Like, it's right there. They're sagged out.
Yeah.
So like that indicates things. And then he gave up a lot of positions after being in the fight early on. So although yesterday's like Moto 1 ride was such an eyebrow raiser, even when it was happening on the track at the time, I was watching it like, yo, well, what's that? Like, what's happening?
Oh,
to
we're
now
all
understand it
thinking
a
that.
little bit. Everybody's thinking that, but then Moto 2 was really good by other standards, to know that he came back that fresh for the second moto after putting out that much energy, being sick, whatever.
Yeah.
The thing that you said about getting over this, like, I hadn't heard him being sick about anything in the last little bit. I had heard it was a suspension setting thing where he had went down to Florida. They went off the wrong way at one race, came back. I haven't heard anything about illness except on Saturday morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's been this like big long thing. I do see where people on the internet are saying he's injured or whatever. I don't know anything about that. I haven't asked. I don't really care. But the thing that I'll say for it is knowing where he's at in his career and like what John knows about how to be an athlete training into your 30s.
Yeah.
He ain't burning 3 30-minute motos off every single day this week to be like, all right, I'm going to sweat it out. They know what to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's good. He can.
Yeah, but
knowing
that's
him, he will get this sorted out in some way.
Yeah, but that's my concern, Anton, is like those guys, the Tomac camp has got to be one of the smartest, most efficient, highest level training camps you can get, like without a doubt, right? I mean, the kid lives in Colorado for a reason. Okay,
And two, like
if
how solid has his program been
throughout his career?
Yes.
And if he is struggling like he is right now, and he's admitting he's struggling, this is going to be a harder fix than just a couple weeks. You know, and we've seen a lot of guys going down with sicknesses, and now we're what? A few years into this SMX thing where these guys are putting out this amount of effort for a long, long time. You know, and it's how many, I don't know. It's just, it's a big toll on the body, and maybe Tomac's body, you know, maybe those guys just need a break, and it's going to take a few more weeks. But what I'm trying to say is I'm worried about the SMX coming up so fast.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? He still has World Supercross stuff to do after that too. So like there is no break in sight unless he's just like, I ain't going to do it. I think the thing that where other guys are going to have to race through the pain kind of deal, think that they're just going to get over it. Like AP admitted in his video, I was sick. I shouldn't have raced. I tried to get through it and it made it worse. Eli doesn't have that same kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not motivation, but like Eli's set. Eli's not racing for another contract. He can go wherever he wants. AP still has to prove his worth year after year. He still has to go out and show like
he has to grind it a little harder.
He has to go grind it. Eli and everybody knows like, hey, if you need to chill for a minute to do this, but you're good. Like you're established, you're whatever.
Yeah.
I'll say this through the last 2 years. When he was en route to win that Supercross championship, you know, before the Achilles injury happened, it was unbelievable. Watching how fast he was, that was like, wow, dude, if this stays on this pace for a while, it's going to be hard for anybody to come up and get to him.
Yeah.
How quickly he came back from the Achilles, knowing all of the issues that came with that, just the time off, how his body changed, how his bike changed, things around him that changed, kind of taking that in stride. You know, I'm sure that shit hurt. I'm sure that hurt just to get beat like that when you thought like, hey, I'm coming back to do it this way.
Yeah.
And then this year to, you know, break his leg just as he was building back up again. He's had a couple things where there is a lot of like 3 steps of progress, 1 step back, 3 steps of progress, 1 step back.
Yeah.
And I think like, although we're coming to the end of this Yamaha time, they're right there on the cusp of like, hey, he could be back to early 2023 form if this goes the right way. You know what I mean? Like, don't be sick. Bike's getting into a better place than it needs to be. You're pretty good. There is nothing to lose. Just go race for the win. Because realistically, as we look at the SMX points, which is something we'll talk about later, he's pretty far back. There's nothing that's going to happen that's going to immediately throw him into the top 3 going into the reset where you're just like, okay, now in these last 6 motos, he's just got to do this, this, and this. He's got to have to grind his way to get back into the top 4, top 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, I don't know. The whole SMX thing, I think, is obviously slightly out of the question. He's just going to have to do the best he can, you know? And I think that's really where Eli's at. I think his best chances lie with just getting his health right and, you know, being back to the best form that he can be. I really think that that's like the most important thing right now. You know, the SMX points are hard. I wish I could talk to like a couple of the guys without a camera and just sit there and have a powwow and just, you know, be like, how important is the seating for SMX for you guys? You know what I mean? Like, where do you think you need to be in the ballpark? You know, because I think where's Tomac at right now in the SMX points, Ty? Exactly. How many points plus or minus is he in the 450 SMX points?
Hold on. Tomac is 9th with 404 points.
Okay, and who's ahead of him?
Hunter Lawrence is at 427. Aaron Plessinger at 459. Malcolm Stewart at 459.
So he's kind of
Jet
set.
Lawrence at 483.
He's kind of set right there.
Well, yeah, because Justin Barsh is behind him at 323. So almost 80.
And how many points ahead is Aaron again?
Aaron is
55.
55. 55 points.
55, 60, yeah.
So he could get Aaron by the end of the season. So he could
Yes.
essentially end up 8th, is what he's kind of looking
No,
at.
seventh.
No, 7th. Because
Seventh.
Hunter Lawrence is right in front of him at 427.
But what place is Hunter Lawrence in?
7th.
Oh, I thought you said Eli was 9th.
He is 8th.
Yes, sorry. So, yeah, so he could end up, he's probably going to end up 7th place, which is still pretty far back. But at the same time, the guys in front of him aren't necessarily like the main.
Well, because Malcolm Stewart and Aaron Plessinger are both 459.
Yeah, but I think he's got Malcolm Stewart all day. No offense to Malcolm. Malcolm's a bad dude. But when we're talking SMX Championship.
I mean, yes, but what I'm saying is like he's got to make up 55 points in the next 2 rounds.
Yes. Which
55
each
points on
moto,
somebody that's not going to score any points, though.
exactly.
Yes.
Which each moto's worth 25, and you got to think he's going to get
like
this
weekend, he only got 36 points.
Yeah, but he's got 2 weekends to get 36. You're looking at what, 70 something?
Yeah, 72.
Yeah, 72. So he's going to get Aaron Plessinger, and he's going to end up at least 7th if everything goes right. And right now, he's got Justin Cooper covered. Cooper Webb will be back strong AF. Okay. Chase Sexton, mentally, we got to get into that, but I don't even know where the fuck he's at mentally after that shit that happened the second moto. I mean, that's just mental absolute destruction. Jet Lawrence, he's 4th, and he's still got to make up some points. I mean, realistically, having Hunter in between you and Jet is very troublesome. And they're only going to be 1 point. So he'll be, if it's the same points, it's 1, 2, 3 points off a Jet to start, right? He'll be 3 points off a Jet to start.
Who?
Eli. And then they'll do single points, double points, triple points. So he's definitely in the ballpark for SMX Championship, but he's got to be healthy.
Well, yeah, he's got to be at 100%.
Yes. All right. Well, we love the sponsors to our show, and we appreciate them so much. This next segment is brought to you by Dirt Trick Sprockets. You want 300 hours out of your sprocket, Ty? Of course you do. You want the most hours you can get. You want something made in the USA? Go to dirttricks.com today and get your Dirt Trick Sprocket. Yeah, dude. We got Eli Tomac Mathis drama going on in the background.
Really?
Yes.
Where at?
On Twitter, which is, we love it.
I thought it was a vital thread.
No, it's on Twitter. Steve Mathis tweeted, I got yelled at for my ET takes before the season, but what's he trying to do has never been done in MX history. Plus, he's been injured. It is what it is. Eli Tomac tweets back, says, when was the last time Pulp MX actually attended a post-race press conference? Skip Redbud because he's offended by fireworks. Shots being fired all the way around. Steve is doing his job by talking shit. That's
but
what
not
his job
doing his
is.
job by not going to the press conference?
That's neither here nor there. Do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If Steve doesn't want to
one.
attend the press conference, it is what it is. Steve does do a lot for the sport. You know what I mean? And he does a lot of other shit. Should he be at the press conferences? Yeah, probably. Right?
I would say so.
I would say so too.
But it's tough because it's like we all three have talked to this about a lot on just how like would be I want to say dysfunctional the media world is as far as like getting private interviews and then getting the content you have.
This is a whole fucking can of worms,
you know,
bro.
getting the content from the press conference, but then you have people that are like waiting at the truck to get their own personal interview.
Yeah, well, audience, here's the problem, okay? If you go to the press conference, everybody else in the paddock is leaving. So if you want any other interview from any other rider,
They're going to be gone.
Yes. So if you sit in the press conference and you do the top 3, every single other rider in the entire race, if you want to cover them and you're a single person, they will be gone. But guess what? They won't be gone if you don't go to the press conference because you get all the rest of the top 20 and you don't go to the press conference. They're in the press conference. Then they leave the press conference and then the top 3 are still there.
Yes.
So that is the unfortunate thing.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we are the only sport that allows any other interviews outside of the press conference.
I mean, yeah, that's not, organized on a podcast.
That's not organized in a locker room. That's not organized after the race.
Mhm.
Ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba.
Yes.
So, Steve has done it a certain way for a long time, blah, blah, blah.
Everybody's done it a certain way.
That's
not
getting past the point.
We're not isolating Steve.
Yes.
There is literally everybody does that.
Yes, but we're getting besides the point. Either way, Tomac is fucking a dad, and he clapped back, and I'm fucking here for it.
I'm here for any sort of Eli Tomac clap back.
Hey, and you know what? I think it's totally fine. Steve has to do his job. Eli Tomac saying his piece. We love it.
Yes.
Mike, what's your take on the whole situation?
It's hilarious. I that when Steve put that out there, he was like, never going to be seen by Eli. Like, who would care? Like,
yeah.
From what it sounds like, it was in between the middle of the motos. So, like, oh, fuck, yo, dude. Like, I gotta get, like,
Eli's clapping back between motos. I love it.
He's in the motorhome just like, I'm like, wow. Okay. I'm right outside his motorhome cleaning the helmet, like outside the Yamaha truck. Never did I know between those motos, I was just like, oh, dog, just net banging right now.
So funny, bro. So funny. And it is true too. Like when you think about like Eli Tomac responding to something, like Eli Tomac posts like twice a year on his Instagram.
Literally.
He may have never posted a tweet since that tweet. Like, I wish I could look up the last Eli Tomac tweet that he actually wrote because it's probably in 5 years ago, right?
I wouldn't say everything else is an Oakley ad.
That's what I'm saying. Everything else is an Oakley ad or a Monster ad or something.
Or like a tag or a collaboration or something.
His media person posted for him. Like that might be the first tweet that Eli Tomac's ever tweeted writing something. Or X'd. I don't know what it's called, but it's X now. It's not Twitter. Yeah, but I love it. I mean, good for Eli speaking up and actually saying something. That's cool. We love to see that kind of stuff. Steve, I bet he thought it was hilarious.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Steve's just that type of guy. He's a media guy. Whether you like Steve or you don't like Steve, unfortunately, he's going to give his take on the situation. So, let's move on though. Right, boys? I think one of the biggest subjects of the weekend has got to be, should we start with the Moto 1 battle between Chase and Jet, or do we start with Chase's crash in Moto 2?
Wherever your little heart desires.
Mike, take your pick, bro.
Go Moto 1 because that sets up Moto 2.
Okay, I like it. Moto 1, Jet and Chase. One of the biggest takeaways from that situation was the sickest fuck you I seen from Chase ever. Excuse my language, fans. I got yelled at last time for cussing, but Chase I really enjoyed that Jet made a push and Chase shut him way down. I mean, Chase chopped him twice to the fact that Jet got unbalanced and went a different direction. Okay. This was big, I think, just for Chase's confidence because him doing that rattled Jet enough to where, there wasn't that much time left in Moto 1, but it rattled Jet enough to make him quit that charge and say, I'm settling for third.
Yes.
That was the biggest deal because for Chase, that's all he's really doing right now. He's gaining SMX points and he's trying to find a way to rattle Jet in some way, shape, or form.
Bro, do you know the implications that this is going to have between Chase and Jet's future?
Bro, you're making fun of me right now?
The implications this is going to have.
Bro, I'm going to make a hat that says implications.
Jet's going to think about that chop down every single race from here on out. Okay. He's going to second guess poking it in on Chase.
Do you think
The implications.
Do you think that's true or not?
I 100% think it's true. Even I made a joke about it right now.
Yes, Jet is going to get behind Chase, and he's going to be like, fuck, this dude's going to chop my shit off.
Yeah, I mean, I need to square up and
I got
change
to
it up.
blow his doors off or I can't make a pass.
Yes. And it's just nice to see somebody with a little bit of fight and, like, shut him down.
I just want to sing. I just want to sing.
Make it tough.
I just want to sing Lee Greenwood right now. What's that? Come on.
I don't know. No idea, bro. Music, not my forte. That's you, bro. You know that.
Oh, that's funny.
But just to see like some fight and
to
like
be an American. That song. That's
and to like
baby.
chop somebody down and just like stuff them. Like that's how people need a race.
Yes.
You know,
especially when you're wearing the red, white, and blue at Ironman in a month or two.
Or if you're just a competitor, if you hear the guy coming up on the left of you, you move left and you shut him down.
Yeah, but that was what I loved about it. It wasn't a little shutdown.
No, it was like, bro.
My guy slammed the fucking door closed, baby.
Yes, because he knows how to race Jet now where it's like, you can't give that motherfucker an inch. You got to go all the way to the wall.
All the way.
Yeah, all the way to the wall.
Well, the best, and it goes on both sides too, because it completely nullified everything that Jet did in that line, like hitting the big line off of the finish, playing for big air off that scrub jump, and then drag racing down. But Chase still held the line and was just like, "Oh yeah, right. Okay, well, let me just put the bike right here. Oh, and then you're gonna be right there when we go into the next turn. Well, I'm gonna go right there."
Yeah,
and I completely agree with the fact that he was willing to do that. Dude, that sent a message. Although guys always, I don't think that much about what happened at the last race and whatever. That he thought about winning Washougal for those 2 weeks, and he's like, "Oh, I can show you that I'm going to hold my own. Watch this. And it was awesome to see, because that really is the dynamic through these last couple motos. It is go for broke. Chase knows he's not going to win the championship, but everything he can do to show Jet, hey, I'm here. I really do have it for you. I have to show you this. I'm not just going to let you walk away to the championship because we have so much more to square up on."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And, one of the weird things that I just thought of is look at what Chase can do, and I hope he looks at what he can do when he actually gets in front of Jet. We don't ever get to see that. We always have to see Chase chasing Jet.
Yes.
Look at Chase. Look at what you can do when you get in front of him. You just got to break his momentum for a second, and then Jet had a hard time picking it back up. Even a guy like Jet that is that good, when you break that momentum and get him out of that loop twice like he did, there was nothing he could do. He was defeated. He was defeated because he looked at the time, he seen what was at stake, and he said, "You know what? I have a championship at stake. There's only whatever amount of time left. I'm going to take a third." And that broke Jet in that particular situation. Now, if it was for a championship and there was battle between him, Jet probably would have made another comeback. But that's a different situation on a different day.
And you don't know how that would have went down either.
Exactly. You don't know how that would have went down. The situation that he was in, he got a piece of Jet right there. He now owns just a little tiny piece of Jet. Little.
And for all the haters that think like, or you could say or possibly make the argument of like, oh, Jet came from dead last or 22nd. Chase Sexton crashed on like lap 2 as well and was coming through the pack. So for all the haters saying that, oh, Jet caught Chase, like I think it could have went the other way on that moto as well, where like Chase could have caught Jet if Jet wasn't in first.
Yeah.
I really think so. But that's just how racing goes, and that's why you have to line up on the gate and see how it's going to play out. Because when you have competitors that are super confident and want to win, and let's just, lack for a better word, dislike each other right now, it's great racing to watch. And that's what I like to see.
It is. And I guess the whole bottom line is I love to see the extra fight that Chase gave us because it was Jet.
Yes, because he was not racing anybody else like that.
He ain't racing Eli like that. Hell no. He would never do that to Eli. And he didn't do it to Cooper Webb ever, not once.
No, he didn't.
All Supercross season, he was in the fight for the championship.
Yes.
But he knows when the big dog come to eat, he going to shut him down.
Yep.
He's going to eat first. All right. Moto 2. Damn. All the steam that he just got from Moto 1 that we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you throw it out the window?
Yep.
Damn. Oh, KTM, what happened? Right? I mean, we all are in agreement, Mike and Ty, that this was a KTM issue. This was a bike issue. Or we should say Brembo.
Design issue? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, honestly, it's tough because it was a freak accident.
Okay, it was a freak accident. And for all of you that don't know, that should know, Chase Sexton, mid-moto, sees Hunter crash. He goes right by Hunter. Then
literally
off the finish
100 yards after the finish line.
Yes, 100 yards after the finish line. Hits the single. His bike gets this weird kick right off the single, and then his front wheel locks up in the air. He tries to get back on the bike.
He does the gnarliest Ronnie Mac air wheelie.
Yes, gnarliest Ronnie Mac air wheelie. His legs down, could have snapped his tib and fib on his rear tire. Got super lucky, and then lands. Front wheel locked up, picks his bike up, tries to get going. His front wheel's locked up. Whiskey throttles the bike, then tries to pick it up again in the dying heat. Rides it off the track because the bike unlocks and locks. Mm-hmm. Then rides it down the straightaway, locks up again, drops it, then has to walk across the track through the pit area, straight walk of shame in front of every single manufacturer.
Doesn't even address his team manager, mechanic, nothing. Just walks all the way back straight to the pit.
Yes.
And leaves his bike on the track.
Okay. So now, post-race, Lewis Phillips gets the interview, once again with Ian Harris, the team manager. And this is what Ian Harris said. Chase rode an incredible first moto that was nice to watch as a fan, just amazing. And he managed to ride a very calculated race to take the win. Second race, he lost control over the jump. I did not see it exactly, but afterwards, I could see that he couldn't get going as the front brake was jammed on. It was unclear at the time what had happened, but judging from when we got the bike, it looks to be that the brake packed full of mud and that the after effect of the crash. Leading up to the crash, we're still unclear exactly what happened, but it does look like we could be dealing with debris in the brake from the track. If that's the case, we need to come up with a solution on how to prevent this in the future. Now, with that being said, I watched this freaking video at least 15 to 20 times. Mm-hmm. One of the weirdest parts, Ty, talking to your microphone, one of the weirdest parts is that when he did land, this wasn't debris from when he landed, for sure. It's not like he tapped the brake off the face.
Yeah.
Then he landed, and then the dirt got jammed in because he landed on the opposite side. Watch the video. The brake caliper never really went in the dirt ever, not one time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Michael Antonovich, give us the breakdown of what you had to contribute with that straightaway and what your thoughts were as well in the situation.
Okay, so if you watch any kind of footage of that straightaway, you can see how that dirt naturally is. If you from the corner up the face of the finish line jump, it is that Indiana really, really, really hard pack, dry, slick. It is like concrete when it gets that way.
Yeah.
Everything past the landing of the finish line is the darkest, softest material you've ever seen because it's like what I have to assume by now about 85% mulch.
Yeah.
I've seen some things on the internet where some people have said, and with Ian saying it seems like mud got packed into that area.
Or
like into
debris.
The rotors.
Yep.
Debris, whatever it was, any kind of mulch, any kind of mud, they would have that happen. But then Ian also in the interview with Lewis said that over the same jump last year, they had a similar issue which then makes me wonder, like, how much mulch really is there? And then what does that say about, a trend that we've kind of gone away from? But if you think back 7-8 years, where every pro motocross track was just a mulch field more than it was actual natural dirt.
Yeah.
Ironman is the one track that still has a lot of mulch to it. Ironman and Redbud.
Yeah.
Redbud, though, is more like organic material, like leaves that they have from the trees around there, more than it is wood. So I totally see what Ian says about that. And then as we talk about Motocross of Nations later on in the show, I'm really interested to see what the Europeans think of this track when they get there, because it is such a unique dirt. It does have the hard pack, slick tendencies that some tracks in France or Spain would have. Like, especially when I tell you that finish line jump, or the face of that big table that's in the middle of the track, up, down, Godzilla. That stuff is classic hard pack. If you put water on it, God, is it so slick.
Yeah.
But then there's areas like the woods that have that really dark dirt because it's covered in the shade so much. But I promise you, from racing that GNCC, if you get 5 feet off of the path where the water truck goes, it is straight moon dirt. If you step on it where it's dust, it just goes into powder that you can't see through.
Yeah.
But just because they water it so heavily for the race, that completely changes the composition of that dirt compared to any other dirt in that area.
Yeah.
Then you have those sand rollers that are there. I'm just really interested to see what the Europeans think of the track itself with so many different terrain types on it. And then if anything happens between now and 2 months from now, when we go to that race, if the track surface changes, and what racing on it in October on the motocross track is like. Because I'm telling you, I've raced the GNCC there twice. I did the super heavy muddy one, the unbelievable year. And when that mud gets slick, or when it gets wet, when that dirt gets slick and turns into mud, it is grease. When it's like bone dry, it is complete dust, and it is, you can't even see through the dust because it just hangs in the air. So yeah, it's just interesting dirt there. And then for that one section, like Ian said, it's all mulch.
Yeah. And I don't know, Todd. I think the mulch shit's I think the mulch definitely could have been something, but I think that was just I don't know, dude. I think it was a KTM part malfunction. What are the odds you think it's the mulch in that particular section? Because it is gnarly. You know what I mean? But like, how many times? I don't think I've ever had my front brake lock up on my Suzuki or my Honda. Ever. Not once.
I'm trying to think.
Have you ever had your front brake lock up?
There's one time where I had a brake pad come off, but that was on the downhill in Glen Helen. But that was my fault.
Oh, I gotta love it. I mean,
but like I'm just trying to think, like the brake system's very like simple, you know? It's not like they put too much brake fluid in that fucker.
No.
And it overheated on lap 2.
No.
Or, lap 4 or whatever that lap was.
No.
The only thing I can think of, it would be super unlucky, but like, because the pistons or the 2 pistons are pushing against that front brake. I mean, there is a small gap, and it would be super unlucky if a stick just wedged his way in there so far in there that it got stuck and it just kept pressure on that brake pad.
Yeah, but if that was the case, they would have said that for sure in that interview. That a stick got lodged in there and it was just an unfortunate thing and we're going to fix it. The words that were used seemed to me that it was an unconclusive verdict. Bro, should I work it at like a court or what?
No.
Inconclusive verdict.
No,
verdict.
Absolutely not. I don't know.
Either way, the implications of what happened destroyed any chance of him going back to KTM, wanting to stay at KTM.
No, that shit was already done.
Yeah, I know, but he's super out now. He's like
super out.
I'm out, dog.
He's super out now.
Yeah, like get me on my couch or get me on whatever bike I'm on for MX Nations.
It's definitely a weird one.
I'll say one thing that I did see posed online on the internet by somebody that would kind of know about how mechanical stuff works.
Yeah.
He does have that fall early at the top of Godzilla in that race, which does shuffle him back a bit and kind of set the whole chain of events off that leads to him crashing over that jump. And he fell onto his right side. So did something just jam the brake lever? Did
No.
it just jam into the piston of the reservoir
Okay.
at the top of the master cylinder? You know, not down there, but you know, the like your actuator that's at the handlebar. Did something from up there happen? Because and here's
I
the
think
thing
that's
that I say
less
that,
likely than down below.
I mean,
but
I've
here's the
had
reason-
that
now,
happen.
here's the thing to know.
You've had that happen?
So I've had that happen, but the opposite is effect when you think, because when you slam your brake, let's just say your front brake, you land on your right-hand side.
Oh, it doesn't close.
Your cylinder's blown out. That reservoir's blown out. So you have no front brake.
Yes.
You don't have
because
too
it's
much.
jammed in there.
It jammed and it blew out.
Yes. So even if
what
was,
I'm trying to say is just this. He has that kind of thing. You'll never know because every kind of incident is in its own way. It could have a rock that shoved it towards the grip. It could have a rock that shoved it away from the grip. It could have a rock that shoved it towards whatever the hell it was. The reason that everyone runs a carbon fiber guard on their master cylinders of their hydraulic units is because of KTM, because of the Brembo stuff, because somebody took a rock to that unit at one point in time and then they lost their front brake. It happened at Glen Helen. I want to say it was Ken.
Michael, you're telling me that the front guard is not just a weapon that you can just take someone out? It doesn't protect your front brake cable?
No, I'm talking about the one that's on. No, I'm talking about the one that's on the
Ty's being sarcastic,
on
Mike.
the handlebar. No, I know, but I'm just letting people know like what I'm talking about.
Yes, the little tiny one up top that's over the master cylinder is to save it, because back in the day on Cowie, it was on Cowie. Eli Tomac's fucking master cylinder.
Right, it was Cowie.
Yes, on Cowie, his fucking master cylinder got hit with a rock at Glen Helen and he lost his front brake because that thing indented in and it fucking peeled it out and he had no pressure.
And that's what I'm saying. So like knowing how all of those, what I'm using that carbon fiber guard though is all of those things, any of the internals that are in there are different than what you guys have or like that's in a stock Brembo one. So fuck, it could have done anything that made that thing just pinch or a piston, just any kind of deal. And so I think that if they're going to take that thing home and be like, it's exactly this, dude, you'll never know. Because the brake locked up 3 more times before he got off the track until he just ultimately dropped the bike again.
Yeah, but
they'll never, ever know.
Here's the weird thing, though. This is what tripped me out, because at first, I thought maybe he bent his disc or something weird. Because why I think that is because it locked and then unlocked for like a good 3/4 of a turn and then locked again and unlocked and locked again. But then it got better as he was rolling down the side of the track and then it locked again.
And he's like, I'm done with this shit.
You know, like, what is
what I thought
that?
Too. I thought brake disc. I thought bend disc initially too. Like when I watched, I was like, oh, he bent the disc. I can't, all of that.
But like, if it unlocks for that long and then locks back up, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
The thing that made me more like, why did it go so nose high? That was the other thing. I was like, whoa.
Well,
like,
Ty nailed that on the head. Ty nailed that. Ty, tell him why it happened.
The nose on the head is because
why he
I know.
wheelied.
Yeah, why he aired wheelies was because when he came into that pothole and he was on the front brake, that split second when he came out of that pothole, he released the brakes and he was still dragging, so he gave it extra gas, and then it set his timing completely off into no man's land, and that's why he ended up nose high.
Yes, he literally right at the top, he felt it drag, and he knew that if he didn't blip it, he was toast, and he just blipped it. He just over blipped it.
Yeah.
He was like, and then let go, and the fucking front brake didn't let go, and he went, yacht, right at the end to make sure he didn't endo off the wall.
Yes.
Okay, good stuff.
In that split second.
The one other thing I wanted to say, just so I could correct myself now, it wasn't Ferrandis that got fucked up on Jeremy Hand hitting the start. It was Barsha. I just wanted to say that before somebody in the YouTube comments is like, these idiots don't know what they're saying. It was Barsha. I just saw it again.
Bro, whatever. Bro.
I know.
Barsha,
Their teammates
Ferrandis,
next year, it don't matter.
Yeah, Barsha, Ferrandis, they look the same anyways. I don't know. They're going to raid the same bike next year, supposedly. Yeah, like you said, doesn't matter. Either way, Stan Benson Racing, goated, Bakersfield. You need some ETS Fuel Pirelli tires. Where do you go, Ty?
Stan Benson Racing.
You want to order something online and get it shipped to your house? Where do you go?
Stan Benson Racing.
You in Bakersfield area and you're raising some motos and you get a flat tire? Where do you go?
Stan Benson Racing.
Come on, it seems like everything you need in the Bakersfield area or around the world, you just need.
Go Stan Benson Racing.
Come on. Track changes this season. That's obviously a big topic because we're coming into MX Nations. What did we think? What was the overall consensus of the track changes?
So I really like the track changes.
Yeah.
But we did talk about this a little bit before the show, and I didn't know how old the track changes were, but it seemed like they were super new as far as like this is like the first race on the track changes. And it seemed like everything gets squared up and a little bit more written in. And then I would have liked I would have liked the end of the tree section. I think they could have prepped it flat every moto and it would have been just fine. They didn't need to leave it. The end of the tree section.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about Mike, because you were there and you know better. But what were the exact track changes? I know, obviously, Godzilla got taken out. That's a big track change. Okay. Then you just do that loop down the hill. And then what? The S section in the front, was that a track change?
Well, the tabletop goes straight and then you make a left after that big.
I know that, but that kind of was pretty similar last year. Right, Mike?
Out of turn 1, the S is into turn 2 after the whole shot stripe. That little bit of a chicane has been there in one way or another, but it was much more pronounced and then made into a real split section this year.
Yes.
And then that feeds into the next change, which was running out into the woods. They test rode the woods on press day last year just to suss it out, but then they didn't race on it. And so then
that's where I was confused.
So then you add in the wood section. Adding in the wood section bypassed one of the over.
Yeah, it was like a single. It was like a single.
Yeah, big single, like it was over a shipping container tunnel.
Yes.
That removed that, and then it took out those rollers after that. And then obviously the Godzilla jump has been completely changed. Goes from being that big step down into just, the tree turn. But then at the base of the tree turn, when you go over the next container single, there was a little bit of like a back and forth turn section that it was there in the past. That was completely gone. So now it just turns immediately left, goes into that big tabletop. And then what would basically be that straight rhythm lane.
There was a little bit of, I remember that back and forth. And now it just goes single
just a
left.
little baby turn.
Yeah.
And now it's just a single left, and then you hit that big face of the tabletop.
Yeah.
And then the long straightaway under the bridge and all of that, it starts out the same. Yeah. But then instead of
doesn't go all the way
out
straight
towards the parking lot.
Yeah.
It curves now. The sand rollers have been moved in probably, I would say, 100 feet over. Not just relocated. And then it makes a hard left, straight away, hard right, back to the finish line. So all in all, it did take a little bit of the track away when you added in the wood section, which is this whole new, segment. But then they did cut away parts of the track that had always been there within the grassy, regular public section.
And I don't know why, but I thought the wood section was there last year.
No.
I really did. But either way, I really enjoy the wood section because the times that I've been to Ironman and raced there, that really, like, TV to going actually to the track, that wood section makes TV really feel like you're at Ironman a little bit more and gives you the overall vibe of what Ironman is about.
Yeah.
Because that backwood section is way more what it feels like to actually be there because it's more woodsy, more shaded. When you look at the track, I feel like it's in this open area that doesn't resemble anything around the actual track. So I really do like the wood section. I like the feel of the wood section. It gives it a little bit more nostalgic, Washougali, outdoorsy feel. The section after the over or under bridge, whatever, where they do that big quad and there used to be that Dean Wilson like pop over the whole thing. I think that's okay. Not a big deal to me.
Yeah.
I think the biggest track change that I'm focused on was taking out Godzilla. I think that jump was the dumbest jump I've ever seen. I really liked the one when I did it coming back. When you jump down the hill, that was probably the coolest floating jump ever. But dude, doing Godzilla had to be one of the scariest fucking jumps I've ever hit in my life. Right? Yes or no?
The
It was
two
like
times
the
I've raced-
biggest guesstimation I've
Bro,
ever.
the 2 times I raced there, they were fucking full mudders.
Oh, you didn't even get to jump it.
No.
Dude,
They were full mudders. The 2 times I went there, they were 10-minute practice.
Poor time. Poor time. Well,
I was just like,
I got to hit Godzilla 2 years, and it's probably one of the coolest jumps, but scariest jumps to hit the first time. And then the hardest thing is like the later you get in the day, it was like real kickered out at the top.
Yeah.
So you were kind of having to like be real careful of the top to like jump off of it, or you had to go really fast and try to like get up over the kicker at the very, very top. But you were just floating to oblivion, and it was so hard to guess because you're riding up the face of it for so long.
yeah, your suspension's not compressing, so you can't feel the jump.
You can't time it.
Yeah.
So you're just floating off, and you're like, I hope I'm at like about 33 miles an hour. And I would just come off that thing, dude, and I would frame it one time. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? You know, and I'm a really good jump, or at least I call myself a really good jumper. And then, you know, most of the time I would get it. But the funnest jump on that track they took out was that U-turn and then you jump down the hill. Because you could just jump and then the ground that hill was so steep.
Yeah.
But with that being said, getting back off the freaking good old memories, I do like what you said. They did slow the track down a little bit and make it a little more technical in areas, and I think that makes for better racing because that inside-outside at the top of the hill where Godzilla was seemed to be pretty even to be able to triple step up or go all the way inside, and it made 2-line options, and I thought that was really good.
Yeah, and then I'm just sick of like all these tracks like being so goddamn fast, you know?
Yes.
Like when we have fast tracks, it's hard to make up time. You know, when the tracks get slower, then it's like a little bit more like give and take, and it's easy to lose time, and then it's also easy to gain time as well.
Yeah,
because when you have the tighter sections as a rider, like if you're in a comfortable spot, it's easy to be relaxed. But then when you have a rider that's attacking, they can attack those tighter sections and make up that speed.
Yeah.
You know, when the track's too fast and too open and you're just in third gear all the time, I feel like it's very boring to watch.
Yes, without a doubt.
With that being said, I like riding faster tracks.
Not as good for racing, but fun to ride.
Yes, very fun to ride.
Anton, what was your take on the track and, you know, what they added and took away?
One thing I'll say after hearing you say that Godzilla going up was so scary, but coming down was so fun. That is the complete opposite of what I would think is just a normal weekend rider.
Yeah.
Because it seems like, you know, what you said going up Godzilla, you knew you needed to be out of speed, but it seemed like you could just send it because it was no problem. You're going to land somewhere up high. You know, to me, turning around and then jumping all the way down, I would not want to be fucking Sexton over that hill. You know what I mean? Like, that's just like, oh, I did this table and then I dropped another 75 feet down to the bottom. That was the one thing about the downhill that I was always so freaked out by watching. And then there's this big tree next to it. So if you faded just a little bit, oh my God, that was nightmare fuel for me for so many years when we go to that track.
Yeah.
So when that was gone this year, I was like, oh, that's not that bad. Riders aren't happy about it. Riders like hitting those 2 jumps. But it did exactly what you said, that triple into the top of the hill and then turning around and stepping back down. I thought that raced way, way better because everybody on the old setup, you had to plan to jump back down the hill. There was almost no action, very rarely, that happened at the top of that hill. You would just block somebody's line off and then both of you would roll down it.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll say to what Ty said about fast tracks is I completely agree. That real long lane that they have that inevitably goes underneath the bridge there, how it starts out, because it is always at an angle, it does funnel into one line, regardless of if you start on the inside or the outside and you're trying to roll. Everybody hits one outside line, basically a curb, just before they get underneath the bridge. And it doesn't matter what you do, you're still hitting that same one spot. And regardless of what they do to the track, as long as it still follows that same line, like, I guess you could say that is a unique characteristic about that track, and you better know, like, you can make a pass there, or you're going to get past or defend that line, whatever. But I think as a whole, like, man, if you're literally funneling everyone into one spot, that is a flaw, especially at that speed and what it does, because then you get shot off the track. You get shot off into the water lane if you do get bumped out.
Yeah, look at
I
Jorge
think that
Prado.
spot sucks. Of all the shit that they work on, to still have that spot be like a glaring 50-50. If you make it, great. If you don't, your race could come undone. Spot sucks. But they're not going to be able to change anything from that because so much of the track is routed around there.
Yeah,
that track has been on the series. I think they said it was the 11th or 12th time, 11th time or something like that.
Yeah.
Man, if you think about over the years that they've done it, from the time that you boys did the mud races and all of it, that place is completely different than the first time that we went there. I mean, completely different. I don't think there is but maybe 3 spots that are roughly the same.
That's true.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're going to move on right after this, but I think overall, I think it was good. But yeah, dude, there was really something about that downhill jump. I think the coolest thing when he was talking about it was like, it is like 100 feet down to go down the hill. And you were so high on that hill that when you launched it, you were another 25 feet
I would still
up.
do the downhill jump in the mud.
Yes.
Like, it was fine. The uphill jump was no-go.
Yes, but when you jump the downhill jump, you'd go off the lip, you'd get 25 feet of air, and then all of a sudden, all you could see was that downhill 100 feet down. So it felt like one of the biggest floating jumps you've ever hit in your entire life because the landing was so far away. So that's why I liked it. Cool. All right. Well, moving on. Churbis.com. Need perfect fitting plastics, Ty?
Always.
Go to Churbis.com. This segment is Big L, Big Dub. Who are we picking for the weekend?
Let's talk about the 250 class.
Yeah, I mean, I got a guy in mind for the 250 class. Anton,
on the dub side or the L side?
The L side. You got anybody in mind for the 250 class for the L side, or any big L's, big dubs for the weekend?
I would say big dub goes to Drew Adams.
Yeah. I mean, what do you qualify? Top 5 too? Top
5 and gets 5th on the day with an 8.5. Like, that's got to be his career best, right? That has to be.
Yeah, and that really brings up a big point too, that they brought up on the broadcast is, sorry for the stutter, is that who are going to be those guys next year when Haiden Deegan is on that 450 that are going to be the new kids competitive? They mentioned Cole Davies. Drew Adams is definitely one of those guys that keeps getting better and better. Garrett Marchbanks supposedly signed his extension.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He didn't
Joe
sign it
Shimoda
yet.
should sign his extension here pretty soon.
Joe Shimoda probably going to end up staying on a Honda. If he doesn't, the only place I think you would even ever go is probably Star Yamaha. But I don't see that
I don't think that's happening.
No, that's not happening. Yeah, I mean, big dub for Drew Adams. He's definitely been one of those kids that has just been getting better throughout the season. He had his struggles in Supercross, right?
Let me ask you this, because this was a conversation with another guy I had during the week, was like, this is not, I would say this is like pretty standard for what I thought Drew Adams could do. You know?
Yeah.
I think fans thought Drew Adams was going to come in and be like this amazing talent. But I kind of knew, like, personally, like, how fast these seasoned 250 guys are going.
Yeah.
Like, this is pretty damn good for a rookie jumping in.
Pretty damn good?
Yes.
I think it's more than pretty damn good, dude. For a rookie to jump in like he did and get hurt, and then, you know, for real rookie, you know, not like a half an outdoor season and then start Supercross.
Because remember, he rode a few indoors as well.
Yes, but it got hurt. For Drew Adams to be where he's at right now at the end of the season is very, very important and very impressive. The kid clearly has speed. And two, I think one of the other, you know, most impressive thing is his qualifying time. because he was qualifying pretty far out, at the beginning of the season. He obviously wasn't doing bad, but it's not like he was lighting up the world. And then this weekend, he qualifies 4th place with a 2:04.3. Sorry, I'm getting a Super Motocross ad. 1 second. Okay, so he qualifies with a 2:04.3, and Haiden Deegan qualifies with a 2:04. So the fastest, biggest star that we have in our sport in the 250 class runs a 2:04 flat, and Drew Adams runs a 2:04.3, and then Garrett Marchbanks with a 2:03.8, and Seth Hammaker, fastest qualifier, with a 2:03.4. I mean, dude.
Yeah, that's ripping.
That's winner status next year if you can pull that off.
Yes.
Right?
If you can be steady and not go down and stay healthy, like, you're going to be setting up yourself for some good positions that you can grab.
Yes. Anton, is there any input that you have on Drew Adams?
No, I think that what he's doing is good. I mean, it's a completely different approach to the first year as an amateur or first year as a pro than I think we've seen anybody do, especially with pro circuit, and by design, he was going to be a fill-in rider if they needed to be and all of that. But I think if you look at what Drew's doing in comparison to some other guys that have been amateur standouts for and around the same age, that have been a byproduct of the amateur system in the last 12 years, it's cool to see Drew get to kind of do things his own way, be part of the Lawrence camp and do all of that. Because as we're seeing with some of these kids that are his competitors, that go, be in the mentality since you're 7 years old, rack up a bunch of wins all over the place as an amateur, doesn't necessarily translate to pro success. And then how you go from that, how do you take your world crushing down around you? Drew's thing just seems like that kid's always on the up and up. Like that kid, yes, although he's had injuries from the time that I saw him be a little redheaded kid throwing big whips on a KX85 at one of the mini majors
Number 300
down in Alabama to now.
Yep.
He's gotten hurt, but there's never been this like, is he going to be a big thing or is he going to be a bust? It's just like, look at Drew having fun. That kid has got the just have fun program. He does well, but it's cool to just see the yes, there is expectation to do good, but there's a dedication and pressure, and he doesn't really seem like there's a lot of pressure on him, which is cool to see.
Yeah, he definitely seems very relaxed and calm under pressure. Okay, you guys got a big L?
Yes.
I got one lined up. We're probably going to say the same person.
Who?
Julian Beaumer.
Yeah, bro. What is going on?
Yeah, don't come back unless you're going to be top 5.
Yeah, what are we doing?
At least top 10.
What are we doing?
And maybe that was his thing. Maybe he just wanted to come back and try.
Is it like his contract here or something?
I don't know.
No, he's good.
No, I think he's good. And he obviously doesn't have anything to worry about in Supercross because he's clearly a lot better in Supercross.
Yes, but I mean, are you fucking your shoulder up enough where you're not even going to be healthy 100% for Supercross now?
Yeah, but I thought he was sick.
Do you want to know what he told me? Do you want to hear some shit that he told me on Friday? That when he, I cannot wait to see the video on camera because my eyes had to come out of my head. He said when he hit his head at a high point, he'd been having vision problems. And then he got contacts. So now he can see perfectly. He wasn't able to see for a few weeks. So now he has vision. He can see the fucking track now. And I'm like, yo, dog, you haven't been able to see lately? And he's like, yeah, I didn't know I needed contacts until now. This is my first race ever with contacts. Like, what? You know what I mean? And I get it. I told him on the interview, I've worn contacts since I was 13 years old. So I understand that. And if I take mine out, yeah, I can drive, and I could ride my motorcycle, but I don't see the definition in the lines that way. But then so that was
what?
Okay.
I know, but that's kind of it's kind of like, correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, I've heard, so when you don't wear contacts, you're kind of used to not wearing contacts,
knowing because you're just oblivious to it.
Yeah, exactly. But then when you put your contacts in, you're like, oh, this is a lot clearer. But then your eyes get used to wearing contacts, and then it And then if you go back to not wearing contacts, then you're really fucked.
And then I've heard the same thing that he said of like, I bumped my head and my vision went crazy. I know of a race car driver. This is like a famous story from back in the 80s where he had to have these big old Coke bottle glasses his whole life, then hit his head. And that knocked him into 20/20 perfect vision. Never had to wear the glasses again the rest of his life. It's hilarious.
What?
But the,
Hey, we're gonna be doing some secret testing now in Tennessee.
we're just bashing each other over the head.
Yeah. Is your vision good yet?
But I think the bigger thing for Julian right now is just like why are his energy levels the way they are, and what is, almost every young racer has gone through the I drained the battery thing, and we can call it Epstein-Barr, we can call it mono, we can call it whatever, but dog, you only have so much energy. It's a finite thing. And when you drain the battery to the end, it takes a while for the battery to get charged back up. You can't think that like, well, I took the weekend off and that's going to recoup 3 years of hard work and travel and 40-mile bicycle rides. Like, well, man, it takes some time. Dylan Ferrandis, I did an interview. It's on the SMX video channel on YouTube.
Yep.
And Dylan, took a big layoff, and he's like, I think I just reset my entire career because I've never stopped riding. And so I think every rider at some point ultimately like completely depletes their levels, and then it's how you come back from that. And I think that like Julian's going through that right now. How does he come back from it? A lot of big changes, moving from California, moving to Florida, doing this. He's still in the suss it out period of what works and what doesn't. When they're throwing, it seems like everything at the wall between him, the people around him, the team, all of that is like, okay, did it not work yet? Let's try it for a little bit longer. And if it doesn't, then we got to make a change.
Yeah. And
okay, now
not
we're into
the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the problem. But we also know that he's working with Davey Millsaps. So we know he's working hard.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like just as hard, if not harder than the Alden program.
Yes.
So,
And it seems like with his training partner as well, Ryder DeFrancisco's starting to get, starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel where he's starting to ride up front, what's going to help him a lot.
But I'll say this, because both boys were...
Ryder D still ended up 17-15.
I know, but at least the second moto, he was up there riding fourth for a while.
Yeah.
And when you're up there and feeling that, it's
that
a good feeling to have.
It is. It is. It is.
Julian and Ryder they ultimately did end up around each other in both motos, though.
Yes.
And Dylan Schwartz was with them. No, and I'm just saying that as like that's the curve that those two need to be compared on, is like you're pretty much on the same equipment, just a little bit different, both coming back from something on like all of those same things, and they were still near each other. And like, I hate to say this, but watching both guys, I was like, dog, you better not get lapped by Haiden. Like, you better not get lapped, because not only are you already going through this thing on your own, like the crushing mentalness of like, okay, well, that's another one. Either the team's going to let you know it, or the fans are going to let you know it, or somebody's going to let you know you got lapped. On the last lap of Moto 1, Haiden was like, Ryder was in his sights. And I like said it to myself under my breath. I was like, dog, you better go. You better not get lapped. Like, get the fuck up right now. And he did. He didn't get lapped.
Imagine the
Dylan
firepower
Schwartz
he would have if he lapped Julian Beaumer, dude. Yep, we're not even going to go there. What was that? Dylan Schwartz?
Dylan Schwartz, I got to give Dylan a nod, because that boy is gritty. He really does give it his all the time. And like, he has the issue that every young rider has. You have mistakes, and how do you limit them and all of that stuff. But when he can put it together, he's top 7, top 10 speed guy, and he'll fight for everything. Like the Julian Ryder battle in Moto 1 was right in front of him, and those two were pretty much just worried about each other. He closed up a lot of ground and was right on them into the last turn on the last lap, and even went for like a go for broke, like, I'm going to try to get at least one spot from them. And even though it didn't work out, and to see Dylan doing that against two factory kids, it's like, hell yeah, dog, respect. You need to do that. You need that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, without a doubt, I 100% agree with you. Dylan Schwartz does really deserve a nod. Another guy that deserves a nod too is Lux Turner, getting out there and getting out front and making some passes on Julian Beaumer and some guys like that, and just trying to make it work. Obviously, he didn't get the results that he wanted, but getting in that position, and those guys,
dude, just getting up in that front pack like that is
Yes.
contagious. And then it just proves.
Oh,
and
Uncle Ty.
And then it just proves yourself right that you're doing. It proves yourself right that you're doing the right thing.
Yes.
Because up to that point, you're questioning literally everything you're doing.
Yep, I agree. All right, well, let's move on. We're gonna go California Coast Plumbing in the trenches. Right now, what's in the trenches for me, boys, is we're gonna break down. Let's break down the 450 and 250 championship, and let's break down the SMX points and just talk about that in this section. Right now, Jet Lawrence obviously leading the championship with 412 over Hunter Lawrence with 365. So getting very, very, very close.
So 47 points back.
Yes. So if he goes and wins,
he needs 51 points.
Yes, if he goes and wins next weekend, there's a really good chance he, obviously not having that penalty, he would have locked that up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that championship right now going into Unadilla and Budds Creek. Let's talk about the 250 championship. Haiden Deegan with 418 to 367. So what's that? 49 points?
No, I believe it's like a 51 point lead.
That is 51 points. Mm-hmm. What am I talking about? So that championship will be decided this weekend at Unadilla. So all he really has
if everything goes well, if he doesn't lose any points to Joe, then he can wrap it up.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, Uncle Ty. The championship could be decided this coming weekend.
There
in
we go.
So he does have the 51-point lead he has right now. He just has to maintain that lead to lock up that championship and possibly that 450 ride that we might see at Budds Creek. Obvious that the talk has gone way down about that, so we'll see if that even happens. Regardless. Okay, so SMX championship points right now. Haiden Deegan, this is the 250. Haiden Deegan's out front. Joe Shimoda's in second with 530 points. Garrett Marchbanks in third. Tom Vial in fourth. Shout out Tom Vial. Freaking bad mofo after the break. Coming back, really firing, especially, was it the second moto or first moto who's just on fire?
I feel like throughout the whole day he was.
He rode really good. He had some spice that we haven't seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But he's fourth place in the SMX championship, followed by Seth Hamaker. Sixth place, Max Volan. Seventh place, Julian Beaumer. Eighth place, Michael Moseman. Ninth place, Levi Kitchen. And rounding out your top 10 will be Jordan Smith as of right now going to the SMX championship. And then last but not least, 450 SMX championship points. I know we talked about it a little earlier. We got Justin Cooper in the lead with 596, Cooper Webb in second, Chase Sexton in third, Jet Lawrence in fourth, Malcolm Stewart in fifth, Aaron Plessinger, who would not be racing the rest of the motocross season, in sixth, Hunter Lawrence in seventh place, Eli Tomac in eighth, Justin Barsha in ninth, RJ Hampshire, one of the best 450 rookie seasons we've seen in a long time. Not a long time, but one of the best rookie seasons that we've seen coming in by RJ Hampshire right now in that 10th place in the SMX championship. So what I really want to talk about, obviously these the MX championship and the 450 MX championship are kind of in wraps, but let's talk about our favorites going into the 450 class for the SMX championship, and how these guys are kind of thinking about this going into these final few rounds. Ty, who's your favorites going into the SMX championship? Who do you think obviously has a chance other than Jet Lawrence to
in the 450 class?
In the 450 class to win the championship.
In SMX?
In SMX. I mean, dude, Justin Cooper being out front, does that give him enough confidence to go out in SMX with that 3-point gap to even have a shot?
He has right now he's leading the SMX championship. So yes, he has a real good shot. If he can get his starts down and get out front, in SMX, I think it's a little bit more chaotic.
I'll say this as the guy that's watching J. Coop probably closer than anybody other than Mikey Germain on the track right now.
Yeah.
everything great that he has done this year to have the massive advantage in doing all the races and all that stuff, it doesn't matter still because he's not going to find that pace to like go with Jet and Chase at the times that they need to. And I say that with the utmost respect because those boys have been in that championship pressure situation, and that's what those 6 races are through that stretch.
Yeah.
They're not going to let anything get in their way. And when those points reset and Jay Coop's 90-point advantage goes to 3, that shit don't matter.
But look at
3-point
Michael.
advantage will not, that 3-point, but when he finishes 5th at round 1 and they've already tied or passed him on points in the reset, it's over. It doesn't matter.
This is true.
And then they're going to go double, triple.
This is very true.
Let Anton finish.
Look, there is nobody that wants to see Jay Coop do well. Like I said, probably more than me, just because it is so much fun to watch this happen. It is the complete underdog story of the entire year, and nobody's talking about it. And I think that how well he's doing, honestly, every team needs to rewrite their contracts on how guys get rewarded for this, because he's going to end the season unless there's some kind of hidden bonus in his program for being at the top of the SMX points combined before the reset. He will come away with nothing for that. And there should be some kind of
bonus.
I know we've talked about like you can't make that. We've beaten the SMX championship structure thing to death, but there has to be some kind of reward for showing up to 31 races or the 17, 20, the 29 it is, whatever, and doing them, and he's not going to get anything for that.
I mean, dude, thinking about how fucked up it is to race every Supercross and outdoor and come away with the SMX championship and only have 3 points on the other guys is so messed up. Like, if you really think about that,
like nothing. They're literally nothing. Not of like, hey, dog, great job, but no, like, and a trophy doesn't mean shit or anything. But in all of the money that's through everything out there, there's not some kind of Monster Energy Superman poll or something like that can kick them 50K. That is something going into. Like we've said before, this is the end of the first 3 years, but 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. That is how you could then incentivize. We've seen what happens when guys have to miss rounds and then still come in and can be feisty for that thing. And so you see how the strategy of missing some races but staying within contention matters. But there has to be some kind of incentive to like grit it out for 28, 29 races through the year.
I agree.
The other thing that I'll say is too, he's done so well. Jay Coop has done great all year in like fastest lap times, podiums, heat race wins, doing all of that stuff. Yep. And then watching yesterday, like him and Jorge were gutting it out in the last laps of 450 Moto 2, and how he used lappers to like force Jorge into a mistake and to maybe taking a line he didn't want to use. It happened in the woods, so nobody saw it, but they went into the woods and he was behind Jorge, and they came out of the woods and he was ahead of Jorge last lap, and he got that spot, and it got him not only the position in that moto, but it got him the overall position as well.
Well, with that being said, I didn't think the conversation was going to go there as far as like money, but I believe they should get something for finishing top of the points after SMX or after Supercross and Motocross combined, if they are going to do this playoff, seeding.
Yeah, so 17, plus 11. It's 11 rounds, right?
Yeah.
So that means what? 28 rounds?
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me for 28 rounds of racing, the only thing you get for the SMX championship is 3 points.
Above second.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
He's going to probably end up being like, what, 3... Is it 3,
yeah,
6,
but then
8 points in front of Jet?
I would say 3 is good if each round was worth 25, but it goes single, double, triple.
Yes.
And every guy that you talk to that races this thing tells you, like, you just need to get through the first race and know where you're at, because then you really think about rounds 2 and 3. We're like, all right, that's where the damage is gonna get done.
I'm just thinking, like, Justin Cooper is in a good spot if he can get his like SMX setup pretty dialed. Like, imagine Justin Cooper racing Supercross without whoops. Like,
Yeah, but there's no whoops in outdoor, and he's still getting smoked.
But I think it's a little bit different than Supercross with no whoops.
Very true. Supercross with no whoops could definitely cater to Justin Cooper a little bit
You know
more.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think if Anaheim 2 didn't have those 2 sets of whoops, he could have been on the podium.
I would agree with you. So
you know what I'm saying?
Let's
He
move,
was ripping everywhere else.
Let's move down to the next guy, though.
Cooper
Webb. Does he have a fresh enough start to put up a fight against Chase Sexton?
Is he even going to be ready?
Starts riding Friday.
Yeah, he'll be ready.
He's going to be the most ready.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be the most ready. But after seeing last year...
Yeah, but is SMX really his style?
No.
Not really.
No, it's not.
Too fast.
Still too fast.
Too fast for little Coop.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where is Eli?
Eli, if he's healthy, dangerous.
So if he's healthy.
Yes.
But isn't there one in North Carolina? Isn't there a race in North Carolina? Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte.
So
it's on the drag strip again.
That could be good for Coop.
Yep.
He's had success at Charlotte before against one of the fastest guys in the world ever.
This is true.
So that plays a factor too.
The St. Louis track is like, I know that we keep talking about how interesting it is because they don't have so much of it, announced, the part that's going to go into the convention center.
Yeah.
But the dynamic of
St. Louis.
Open, like an open SMX track, which is more flowy and all that, but it's still going to be within a stadium. And Coop's inside line, make the shortest track possible kind of thing.
And in that dirt,
really
Cooper Webb's dangerous.
I thought they were going to go out to the street.
No. The inside pits in St. Louis?
Yeah.
They're going in there.
I thought they were going to go to the street.
No.
That's what I thought.
No,
so they're
we
going
don't
in the
have
convention
flyby protection
center.
like that.
So
we don't have flyby protection like that to protect 22 guys on St. Louis streets, and that's born. That's a resident of St. Louis.
We don't have flyby protection like that, my boy. Oh, that's true, dude. How many times have you been out the back of St. Louis and heard shots fired?
I don't know. Not very many.
I've heard at least a couple times.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I had a gun pulled on me 2 blocks from the stadium one time.
I walked to that barbecue place. That shit was bomb.
I mean, the barbecue's fire in St. Louis. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, but dude, that just got me excited for SMX because Ken Roxon's gonna be back too.
Yep. Kenny is gonna be back.
And he's gonna be fully healthy.
Where's Ken Roxon sitting in the SMX points?
12th. But you know what I was thinking too? And Justin Hill's gonna be back. What do you think Cody Schock's going to do? Do you think he's going to hop on the 250 to make the top 20 in the 250 class? Or do you think he's going to stay 450 and try to get top 20 in the 450 class?
Said he's doing the 450. And so Cody and I had a conversation about this on Friday.
Really?
Because I was kind of
pushing.
Money. He said that it's cool to more money. And it's what he's been racing all year. And they have everything. Like, he could do well. I get a good hole shot on that 450. He could hold his own there for a bit. The thing that makes this so interesting, like you just mentioned Jay Hill, the way that I'm looking at everything right now,
he's safe.
With how I think he might be safe after this weekend. Yeah. Because Cody had to score like a certain amount of points to get into it. Cause the way that I have it broken down, Justin's probably going to wind up 20th. Like Mitchell Harrison, Guillaume, Shane, now that they're racing, should pass him because I don't see Justin doing the last 2 nationals just to do them.
Yeah.
And Cody was the one that, like, Cody had to score a certain amount of points every moto through those last 6 motos to leapfrog Justin. But I don't know that he's gonna,
because Cody Schock got 23 points and finished 11th this last weekend.
Yeah, and I want to say he had to score something like 30 points a weekend or something like that. Like I have it broken down somewhere, and Cody knows. He says it in the interview that's on YouTube, like what it all is. So then the other thing that makes this important, now that we get so hyped about the top 20, you really got to go look at the LCQ guys of who's not going to make it. And then when you remember that Colt is out for good because he tore the UCL on his thumb, so he's gone.
So that's going to move up.
Gone. No, it doesn't move them up.
Oh, yeah, it just moves another spot.
It just
opens up
adds
another
2 more spots.
Yeah.
So the way things are looking right now, the LCQ transfers from Charlotte should be 4 transfers. And the guys that I see in the LCQ at that opening race are Cody Schock, Kulas, Oldenburg, Benny Bloss, Patcherell, Chisholm, Lecurcio, Grant Harlan, Christian Craig, Freddie Norton, Dean Wilson, Roman Pape, Morans, Jeremy Hand, and Henry Miller. And that's a fucking LCQ.
That's an LCQ.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, you better.
That's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be
You
fun
better
to watch.
put your big boy
The
pants on for the
LCQs are going to
LCQ.
be fun. The LCQs are going to be fun to watch. The SMX is going to be fun to watch.
Mhm.
Obviously, we know the fight between Jet and Chase is going to be on. Eli Tomac, if he can be healthy, wow, he's going to be lethal, but that is obviously to be determined. Justin Cooper is going to have that point advantage like we talked about, but can he figure it out? Can he figure out the crossover between MX and SX and try to make that all work? That is
Yes.
going to be the big question. Aaron Plessinger, he's coming back for SMX, right?
If he's healthy, I would say.
Yeah, but either way, unfortunately for Aaron, it's just going to be a tough ask. Just going to be a tough ask all the way around.
You think?
Yeah, because even if he's healthy, he's not going to be 100% by that time. You know? I mean, he only
It's
has...
not like he broke a bone, though.
It isn't like he broke a bone, but dude, you and I both know sometimes health issues are worse than a broken bone.
I agree. But moving on to the 250s.
Hayden Deegan.
No,
Anything else?
the SMX Championship.
Hayden
There's
Deegan.
some topics
Anything
that we
else?
need to talk about.
Hayden
okay,
Deegan.
Cole Davies.
Hayden Deegan. Anything else?
Is he coming back?
That's the real question. Do you try to come back on a thing that you supposedly suck at? That's not true. Supposedly, he is not very good or as good at outdoor.
Because right now he is 171 points and he's 19th.
Oh. Oh. And you have to be top 18, right?
No, top 20.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So who could beat him? Cody Schock ain't beating him.
Lux Turner can beat him.
Dylan Schwartz could definitely get him.
Yeah, Dylan Schwartz is beginning a lot of points. Yeah, because look at
It's going to be tough. Dylan Schwartz didn't get that many points this weekend. Dylan Schwartz
tell
did
you.
not get that many points. And
let me tell you how many points he got. Dylan Schwartz got 10 points this weekend.
okay. And how many points is he behind right now?
Let's go 19.
10 is 69, 11, 12. He's only 12 points back. Ooh. Talking to your microphone. 12 points back means that he definitely could get him in these next 2 rounds, especially because Dylan Schwartz got like 14th or 15th, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Dylan Schwartz is going to pass Cole Davies. So that
But
puts him
Lux Turner is the next guy up.
that puts him in 20th. And Lux Turner
Is 141.
so he's
And
30
Lux
points
just got,
behind.
Yeah, and Lux just got 5 points.
So Lux needs to make up. If he made up 5 points this weekend. So what does he have to average? He's got to get 15 points per weekend to beat
Cole Davies if he does-
He's
if he
really got to
doesn't
get a
race.
16 and a 15. And that means he's got to pretty much get 13th overall twice.
What's possible?
It is possible, but that's a tough ask for Lux Turner, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say if he had to get a 14 or a 15, I could see that.
I could see him doing it in the last 2 rounds, though. I
Just
mean,
to do it.
if there was 2 rounds you would want your best results, it would be the last 2 rounds because there's not a lot of people showing up to him. Everybody's kind of sick of outdoor and they're tired.
And if you get that done, you don't have to race any LCQs.
Mm-hmm. And you're guaranteed some money.
Or Cole Davies comes back for one of them and shuts all that nonsense down.
Yes.
So if you're Cole Davies, do you wait and see how Lux Turner does this weekend?
No, I don't think he cares.
You think so? You think Cole Davies wants to race the LCQ?
No. I think if he's gonna come back, he's gonna come back and race just to race, not for SMX points.
Oh, he's coming back for SMX points. That's going to be a big motivator. Anton, back me up on this, bro. Is Cole Davies just coming back to race, or does he see that and wants to shut that down and he wants to not race?
Or
the
how about
LCQs?
Tyre Masterpool? Because Tyre Masterpool is going to come back this weekend, and then he could be in top 5 and get a whole bunch of points.
Cole Davies.
Because if, let's just say, Tyre Masterpool gets a fifth and a fifth, that's 62 points. That would jump him up all the way to 75 points. So that bumps him above Cole Davies.
But what puts say Ty goes 11-9.
11-9. Let's just
For a 10th overall.
For a 10th overall would put him at like 23 points.
No, it doesn't. Oh, it does.
So that would be 46 points.
Which isn't quite enough. He'd come up just a little shy. But with the motivation from Ty Masterpool, he could try to do it because he's seeing that and he wants to be in that money.
No, if you got 46 points, I think that would tie Cole Davies.
Okay, what's 46 plus 14? No,
Hold
it's
on.
not. It's
Hold on.
60 something.
We're horrible at math.
Yeah, we are. No, it might be. It's 170, isn't it?
No, it's 160.
Is it?
Yeah,
160?
he needs 57 points.
Well, if he's 46, he needs 50.
Yeah, he needs 57 points.
He needs 57 points.
So
So he's got
tie Cole Davies.
Yes.
So he needs 27 points a race.
So Cole Davies has just got to be watching after this weekend, right? And try to maybe come back and just get one top 20. What, Mike, if you're Cole Davies, what are you doing right now? Do you care if you got to race the LCQ or not? I do.
I doubt it.
I do. If I'm a racer, the last thing I want to have to deal with is dealing with the LCQ on a weekend that's already high pressure enough, where you know you can win, and now you got to race the LCQ.
Addy, but we're always on the bubble. Cole Davies will be like, oh, dude, sweet, another gate drop before my gate drop.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at because like
He's thinking of it as an
wonder,
advantage.
Yeah.
and like,
Dude,
and
but
especially from all that we've like. Look, I have no idea where he's at, like why he hasn't been at the races, how many motos. I have no idea about any of that stuff right now. But with all of that being said, what keeps him from I saved myself from 4 more motos because who knows how Unadilla could be. You know, it's a high speed track, very technical.
You don't want to race
very easy,
Unadilla.
like, you know what Unadilla, you want to race Unadilla because it looks like a fun track to ride, but like
no,
also
it's not.
like, Unadilla.
I love Unadilla.
Unadilla is gnarly.
Yeah.
And then Budds Creek is a hot box. It's so much a sauna. And like
Budds
you're gonna
Creek
have
is
to do it
sick.
regardless. But do you go do that for those 4 races and it just does it do anything, where are you coming back from? Or do you just wait and exactly like what Ty said, you're gonna be pretty good in those LCQs. Just go do that. Stay home a bit.
Yeah,
I have no idea. It just depends on how much riding that kid's been doing because I don't see him having the same, oh God, I'm in the LCQ. Am I going to make it or am I not, that some dudes in the LCQ have?
Yeah, but this is my thing.
Anybody, no disrespect, anybody can catch a front tire from Hardy Munoz when he fucks up. And that's a completely different story. And I say that with all due respect to Hardy. Like, I know exactly what you're saying. Why put yourself in the LCQ if you don't need to when the other guys are the thing you have to be more worried about than yourself? But are you ready to just go race 4 motos on burly ass tracks, or do you not need to? Like that's the decision the star's going to have to make.
Bro, how many times have we seen the weirdest shit happen in LCQs?
I mean, yeah, if there was a race for weird shit to happen, it would be in the LCQ.
Exactly. So imagine you're Cole Davies and you don't race and you're in the LCQ and you go to the first round of SMX and you win. You go to the next round, you have to race the LCQ because you're out of it no matter what. You have to race all 3 LCQs. And some dude chops you in the first turn, you flip over, you pop your shoulder out, and then you just lost.
Yeah, that could happen.
It could happen. It's very, very unlikely, but
it could happen the first Moto SMX too.
It could. That's why I said either way. It's unlikely, but It's possible, right? All you have to do to avoid that is race one race at Budds Creek. And it gets you a gate drop before SMX.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if he would...
Just one moto, too. He probably could do it with one moto.
Yeah, it just depends on where he's at health-wise. That's what I'm saying.
Pretty damn good in the last Instagram post he did. His shit was looking
You can't believe
sick.
shit on Instagram, dude.
Bro, he was so upside down. Did
Dude,
you
I
see
could've-
that post?
Bro, no, I didn't, but, it could have been fucking back in January.
No, it wasn't.
How do you know?
Because he posted and he's like, feels so good to be back. And he was in new gear. That's how no, that could have been in January.
Bro,
Fuck.
you know how he could have been the
Damn.
Thor photo shoot from last year getting ready for this year's drop. And he could be like, oh, sick, I could finally post this. It was sick at the photo shoot where I was whipping it.
I don't know, bro, but he announced he's riding and he's been posting a lot lately.
Well, has he announced that he's racing?
No, he has
Well-
not. I'm just giving you scenarios. Let's move on.
Well, I'm
okay?
giving you a scenario.
Last-
I just looked up the weather for Unadilla, and it looks primo. It's going to be a low of 60 and a high of 81 next Saturday and Sunday.
Bah!
So
Perfect race conditions.
that's really good for Unadilla. So it's not going to be super hot.
We love that. Let's move on. Last segment of the show, X brand. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you need the best goggles on the planet, X brand goggles. Okay?
Mm.
I love it. Mine are super comfy.
That's probably where Twitter got their name, was from X brand. They're just like, we're not going to, man, X brand's already taken. We're just going to name it X.
Because X brand's so sick. We just want it to be. That's exactly what happened. Elon Musk, one of the smartest people in the world. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah.
X brand. X brand goggles. Let's talk MX and Nations. We got the announcement this weekend. Eli Tomac, Chase Sexton, Haiden Deegan.
Mm-hmm.
That has got to be one of the nastiest lineups I've ever heard in history of motocross, other than Bubba, Ricky, and Poto.
Yes.
Right?
It's very legendary.
Is it better or worse than Bubba, Ricky, and Poto?
Worse.
Worse. Worse.
Especially
Anton.
in their time.
Anton, better or worse than Bubba, Ricky, and Poto?
I don't know. It's pretty. This might be our generations. There's a bunch of Gen Z kids on TikTok that are like 25 years from now going to be saying exactly the same thing.
Dude,
So,
I don't
yeah.
know, dude.
We just became old men.
Yes,
I
but
don't know, dude. This is like, put it this way: when I took the team photo yesterday for the Team USA thing, and it's the three boys, and everybody's laughing about Eli being in jeans and the other two being in the
in shorts, yeah, the high shorts, yeah.
I was like, as I got ready to take the picture, I was like, ooh, that's those dudes are pretty fucking good. Like,
Yes.
they're pretty good. But then at the same, like, that one was, that is the dream team. And from the time that I heard, back at Thunder Valley, that it was looking like it was going to be this way, I've been excited by that, because that's the one that we all exactly want.
But I want Eli I want Eli Tomac to be healthy.
Yes, but Eli Tomac
think-
has time.
Yeah,
Imagine if
no,
Eli
totally.
Tomac was on a KTM and, and Chase was on a Cali fruit. Oh, that'd be funny.
Oh God, and they're like still testing.
I know. Okay, either way, we're not even going to go down that rabbit hole.
Or somebody debut. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not going that
But
rabbit hole.
I'll say this though, like, as part of Team USA, whatever. All three guys have definite question marks that, like, we know how good you are. There is no doubt about any of that. They're Please do not have anything as any distraction, as any kind of anything. Don't get rattled. Don't get nothing. Just, this is the time to come down and do the job. Not for us, but like, this is the opportunity that everyone waits for. Fans, racers, teams, whatever. When you get the dream team lineup like that at home, the rivalry that's building between Team Australia, seeing what the two guys in the 450 class, and then what Kyle Webster is capable of in the next couple of weeks, like, we really will see what's happening. And then I have to tell you, like, we talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago, how good Team France is. You cannot discount how good they are, because Gautier Paulin was at the race this weekend, and his whole mission was scouting out everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything, from how they're getting the team to the track each day, to gate choices, to what the local environment in Crawfordsville is like, all of that stuff. Like, The
So
French team
crazy.
takes it seriously, and they have very good options this year as to who they could put on what bikes.
Yeah. Speaking of Kyle Webster, let's talk about him a little bit. He is most likely going to be on a factory Honda 250F for MX Nations alongside the Lawrence brothers. This weekend, he actually did race. They flew in. Mike, give us a little bit of that background story. He didn't do as well as we kind of expected, but give us some insight onto why that was. He went 19 in the first moto, 41 in the second moto.
Okay, yeah. So Yuriv Konski brought pretty much everybody that's part of Quad Lock Honda in Australia over for these last 3 races. So Charlie Cannon's here to do the WMX stuff. She just wrapped up the Australian Championship down there. The kid that was in the 250 class just won the championship down there. And then you got Kyle Webster, 2-time and defending 450 MX1 champion too. So Yuriv just kind of rewarding everybody, and that includes the mechanics, the team people all down there are all up here as well. And they're also getting a firsthand chance to see like how American racing works because, everybody, it's no secret. Australia is America's quote unquote little brother. Like they look to us as the standard of what they're going to do. And sometimes they come here and they're really blown away by how good everything is. And they implement those changes in Australia. And other times they're like, yo, what the hell are you guys doing up there? We're going to keep doing it our way down there because we can.
Totally.
So for Yuriv to bring everybody over is great, but the thing to note is it's winter in Australia right now, although it's the hemisphere thing and all that. And so although we're in the dog days of summer, their national season is in a pretty pleasant time of year for them. They don't really ride when it's hot from what I'm hearing. Like from people that I know that live in Australia, they're like, we ain't riding when it's 110 like it can be.
Yeah.
So those guys getting in late last week, going all the way from Australia through San Francisco, then to Indianapolis, and then how hot and humid it was this weekend. I think it just was a little bit too much. And if you're just showing up to race for fun, get your feet wet, you don't need to kill yourself in the second moto for nothing. Kyle did his job. He knows what he needs to do. He has 2 more races to do. Go enjoy the time down at MTF doing practice motos with the team in the next couple weeks. Like, there's no point in doing all of this damage to yourself for 1 weekend in Indiana.
Yeah.
So I see Webster being much better through the next little bit. And then that relationship that American Honda and Honda Australia have is pretty good. So, yeah, to see him on a 250 just like he was last year.
Will
Team
be
Australia
no
is
surprise. Yeah.
no surprise. Like, again, they are the ones to beat, obviously, because they're 1, 2, and 3. But, I mean, when you have Jet and Hunter who are doing what they're doing here, and then you have the national champion in Australia down there as your third guy that realistically only needs to get 1 good moto score, barring catastrophe for Jet or Hunter, they finish within the top 5 both motos. Like, they're good. Australia is very, very solid.
Yeah.
What place did he get overall? Why can't I find him
He's on
the
450.
Oh.
Hey, Anton.
Yeah.
So Lars Lindstrom is Swedish, right? But he was born and raised in America, right?
Yeah.
So
Who's going to be the team manager for MX Nations?
Mike Pelletier.
Yep.
Oh.
Which is the head of the AMA.
Yeah.
But like, it's more, okay, so then Mike has explained this very much in the wake of Roger's departure. Roger was team manager in the way that we've always ever thought of team manager because it had only ever been Roger as team manager. And that was him negotiating stuff with the FIM and setting things up this way. But then through the last few years, logistics stuff has been more on the teams and Christina Denny and Paul Parabinos when he was involved and all those kinds of things. The team manager role for Roger had then changed over time. Mike's intent for this new era is the team managers of the OEMs, so Star Racing and then Red Bull KTM, so Ian Harrison. So you got at 450 side, it would be Rich Simmons, not Rich Sterling.
Yep.
Rich Simmons at Star,
Yep.
Jensen Hindler as the 250 side of stuff, and then Ian Harrison on the KTM side. He wants those guys still doing everything that they do. Be the management within your rider. You guys run your show, but when it comes time for like, hey, we got to go do the press conference or I got to give an interview, I am the team manager. You guys run the show over here, but the AMA is the one that is just like, hey, here's the hub. Here's where we get together. Here's this, here's that. And it's
that should run smoothly.
To make it more, and that's the intent, that is the hope because this has been like kicked around for a while. Like, it was inevitable that Roger was going to step
Yeah.
down at some point, and it was, when does this next thing start? And like, I mean, that's exactly what I said a couple weeks ago. The show that we did before the Roger announcement came out, I told you guys exactly, like, there will be an infrastructure change, there will be this, there will be that, and that is
Yeah.
what's playing out right now. The next things that they're trying to work on is getting, like, and they'll get it. They'll get a central location for everybody to, like, as a locker room to work out of, because everybody from, you know, Yamaha Europe will be working out of the Yamaha team truck, or everybody from Red Bull or Red Bull KTM Europe. So like Jeffrey Hurlings, the Coonans, all of that are going to be working out of the KTM truck. So those guys will have, and those guys have their motorhomes and all of that thing. But to just like, hey, we have everybody in one spot, there will be a central office for the team. And then Alpine Stars, as always, will dedicate one entire side of their hospitality unit to be, you know, the food and everything like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Team USA thing's going good. It's always what it has been. It's just Mike is the voice of it now when
Yeah.
he has to give an interview. But yeah, that it's something that's been trying to be worked out for quite some time.
Yeah. And I think that was a good choice. Yeah, but back to what I was kind of mentioning about Lars being born and raised in the United States. And I'm not for sure about that. I don't know if you are, Anton, if he was born and raised in the United States. But how do you think that is, like, being Lars Lindstrom, leading and managing Team Australia to pretty much win? You know, do you think it matters, or do you think you're just trying to
I
do?
thought Michael Burns, the team manager for Australia.
No, it's Burner is the team manager. Lars is
Yes.
just technical.
Yeah. He's just taking care and making sure.
No.
He's just
no.
taking care and
But-
making sure his riders are safe.
No, but that's what I mean, though. Like, you are the team manager of Honda, right? Which is now supporting and supplying everything for Jet, Hunter, and Kyle Webster to smoke Team America, essentially. Does it matter, or you more just like, I'm on my rider side 100%, or is it like a little bittersweet?
No, you're just company man.
Yeah.
You're just
You
doing.
just want to see Honda do well.
Yes.
There you go.
If Honda's on top of the box.
That's a perfect answer, right? It's not even like Team Australia or anything. It's my guys are Honda guys, and I want them to do good no matter what they represent, because I love my guys. Because, like, dude, the relationship there between Lars and those riders, it's got to be, you guys are obviously professional, but these guys are like your family, you know?
Yes.
So it's just,
And at the end of the day, Lars Lindstrom is supporting a manufacturer.
yes.
And that manufacturer is
Bob.
sold across the world.
Yes. And very fortunately, Jet did sign a long extension, so he will be there for a while. But, you know, that's the hardest part about being a team manager for a manufacturer, is that at the end of the day, Hunter could want to go somewhere else because he wants to get paid more, or whoever, and they're gone.
I don't think it'll happen, but yes, that is a possibility.
Yes. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to mention?
Yeah, if you are the perpetrator of Jet and Hunter's gear that maybe got stolen from underneath the Team Honda truck during the race day, just know that they know it's gone. So don't be trying to put that shit on eBay.
Oh, shit.
Oh my gosh, people are so fucking ridiculous. Jeez, bro.
Bro, they're just literally ruining it for everybody.
And like, that's like when I was talking to Darren at the end of the day, and I was like, "What's up, Darren?" He's like, just looking through the trash, trying to find a trash bag." And I was like, "Well, what's up?" And he's like, well, the boys' dirty gear from today got stolen, and we were taking it home to wash, just like we always do." And I was like, "Oh, just now?" And he's like, "No, we're pretty sure it got stolen during the day, like while bikes were on the track." And I was like, "Oh," because like, and that just says a lot about.
So that means somebody either had to
truck.
sneak. That means somebody had to either sneak in without a credential, because you can't get in the paddock between motos without a
or
credential.
you had the pit pass, or you know,
Or you had the
whatever,
credential
and
and you took it.
yeah. So just, you know, they
Damn.
know that it was the purple and green stuff and the red and black stuff. So, you know, if you got that, just like those tablecloth covers, you better keep that stuff in hiding, or, you know, just wear it for your wife or whatever. When she wants you to be
Wear it
Jeff.
for your wife.
And don't be wearing it on the side of the track when you're cheering them on next weekend.
Yeah, don't be.
Yes, because somebody from Alpine Stars might come off the top rope and pull that mug off.
Oh, and there's Alpenstar people everywhere.
Yes.
So be put on notice. All right. Well, anything else? Is that it?
No,
We good?
I'm good.
You good, Anton?
Yeah, I'm good.
Damn, what a great show. Ironman was definitely fun to watch. It was fun to have racing back. For all you fans, listeners, thank you guys so much for the last show. You guys really blew that one up. Gotta love it. Thank you guys so much. If you're watching till this point, on the next episode, we are going to give away some graphics. So make sure you guys tune in and be the first ones there. We're going to give away some SKDA graphics next week after the Unadilla or during the Unadilla show. So that'll be cool. Thank the listeners for being here, for watching us, and continue to stick with us at Track Talkers. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't, like, subscribe, tell your mom, tell your friends, tell your grandpa, tell your dad, tell your brother, tell your sister. Whoever you can, we appreciate the support. We appreciate the support for Track Talkers, and we're going to keep it coming, keep having fun over here. And till next week, peace.
Deuces.